So I'm out here again. Is it every other day I'm out here now? I don't even know. I don't remember. I don't think I was out here yesterday. So yeah, it's like every other day I'm out here. Well, you can hear the birds today, which is lovely. I love the birds. I'm really loving the birds lately. But last night I had a dream that was very interesting. I mean, technically it was this morning because, I went to bed at like 4 or 5. But part of the dream was like, there was this like game show, and there were these like cards that told people what to do, and I knew the card that someone had gotten, and then she went somewhere and she started doing something that I didn't think she was supposed to do, but so it was basically like, go in and act like you're over it, because she was supposed to be like ditching class outside, right? But then she goes over there and it turns into like volleyball tryouts. And so at first I'm like, okay, well maybe that's like, sometimes we're led to spaces and we think that we're supposed to do a certain thing, but then when we get in those spaces we find out that we're there for another reason. And I'm trying to be a little bit more distant from the camera today instead of like this. But yeah, so I thought she was supposed to go over there and act over it, but I also didn't know that there'd be like volleyball tryouts either. And the coach was really excited about her, like she was some star player or something, and she was like hamming it up, and she was like being nice and chatty, and my accent's all over the place, so I'm sorry, but I feel like doing it like this. If this offends anyone, again, I'm sorry. But yeah, she gets over there, and the coach is like hyping her up, and the coach is like, we're finally going to beat that other team this year because we have her. And then someone on the bench was like, yeah, but the rest of us are still trash, so unless you can play every position, what good is one person going to do to get us to win that championship? And then she's like bleeding and smiling, and we all look at her and like, oh my gosh, like, what are you doing? And she smiles, and her left front tooth is out, and there's blood dripping down her mouth, and she's like, the card told me to do it. And I'm just like, I couldn't believe it. She said the card told her to do it. And so she pulled out her tooth. No hesitation, no fear. And I guess now that I wake up, it's like, at what point do we... I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't judge her. Maybe she did the right thing. I don't know. I was just so shocked and so surprised. And it wasn't a lot of blood, thankfully. It was just a little bit, because if it was a lot of it, I would have like passed out in my dream. I don't really like the sight of blood, honestly. It's kind of weird, because I don't fear death, but I don't like it either. If that makes sense. So it's like, when I was younger, I've been to a lot of funerals in my life. Lots of folks have passed. So, and most of them, if not all of them, are open casket. So, before the service starts, you get an opportunity to go up and to view the body, and then people cry at the casket. And when I was younger, I used to be able to do that. But after one of my aunts got cancer, and being in the hospital, and knowing that she was near the end of her life, I don't know, I guess that was the first time I was around someone who was actually dying. And so then after that, I was like, oh, I didn't even want to like go near her. And it's not because I thought it was contagious, but it's just something. Then like after that, after she passed, I didn't even go up and view the body because I couldn't. And then I feel like I kind of sort of had this irrational fear that if I get too close to a dead body, then it'll come back to life or something, or it'll like spring up and get me. And I don't know where that came from. Like, I don't watch any zombie movies because I don't really, I don't really care for horror. And if I am going to watch a horror movie, I don't want it to be about zombies because I feel like zombies have been done, and I'm just not really into zombies, honestly. I'm much more of a supernatural, like thriller type of person. You know what I mean? And I do love an element of like mystery, like, oh my gosh, who's the killer? If it's something like that, But yeah, and then like my sister had a dead mouse in her closet one day, a long time ago. And she asked me if I was afraid of mice, and I said no, because I'm not afraid of mice. And she was like, hey, come get this mouse. And I said, oh, no, I can't do it. It's dead. Like, I don't want to pick it up and then it springs to life in my hand. Like, ew, I can't. And so I couldn't do it. I don't know. I don't know what it is when it came to be, but I just do not like going near deceased things anymore. Even though I had no issues with it when I was younger. And I don't know when it started or when it flipped, and I can't necessarily tie it to anything. Because, like, rationally, I know that a body isn't going to spring back to life just because, like, I go near it. But it's just like, oh, I'd rather not risk it. You know what I mean? But anyway, I feel like I may have been spending a little bit too much time outside, especially for it being as cold as it is when it was warm. And my body, sometimes it has to adjust when it goes from warm to cold. In the past year, actually, it hasn't been too bad with it. But I'll still get like a little cough or a little sneeze or something like that. And I had a sore throat for a while, but it stopped. And I had the thought that like something was caught at the back of my throat. Maybe it was one of those Twizzlers. I don't know. Because it kind of happened to me before, where I had like a popcorn kernel that was like cupped to the back of my tongue, and it would irritate my throat whenever I would move my tongue because it would rub up against it. And so the other night I was drinking some water. I've been drinking a lot of water. And I was drinking it, and I like tilted my head to the side and I drank it. And then that like it cleared it out. So that was interesting. I don't know what it was, but okay, I'm rambling at this point. I'm doing well. I hope you're all doing well. I'm about to go to the store with me mum. Gonna get some water, hopefully. Gonna get some deodorant because my stick is out. And gonna get some eggs. Maybe some rice. I've been really loving frying rice. I need some more soy sauce because I've used a lot. But yeah, I don't really want anything. I'm gonna be doing day 7 upload later today when we get back from the store. I don't know what it's gonna be about. Excuse me, I kind of don't want to do anything too structured. I kind of don't even want to read cards anymore after that dream. I'm just like, oh, like she really just pulled her tooth out. No painkiller, and smiled and said the card told me to do it, so I did it. And I guess it's fine. I guess it's like there's this interesting balance, I guess, between trust and like sovereignty, maybe, or like living our own lives. I don't think any tool should necessarily dictate our lives. It's just something that we use to get a little bit of extra guidance, maybe a little bit of a different perspective, maybe. But I don't know. It was weird. And then there was another part of the dream later. And I've been watching a lot of YouTube clips lately because, you know, self-isolation. And it's kind of interesting, funny. It's kind of interesting, honestly, because our lives in this house haven't really changed too much. Like, we're all a bunch of homebodies. So I feel like I might be slipping into a little bit of Australian. Because I feel like I hear Clorinda coming out of my voice. But yeah, we're all like homebodies, so we don't really do anything or go anywhere. The only difference is now my father's out of work for like 2 weeks, so until, you know, a lot of places are shutting down for 2 weeks to give it time to do whatever. But yeah, in the second part of the dream, I was with my mom. She wasn't my mom, it was a TV show. And so my TV mom was wondering where my TV dad was and my TV brother and sis. So she was really upset, and she thought that maybe he was cheating on her, or she wasn't enough, or nobody liked her, and I had to console her. I was like, Mom, no, like that's not the case. And I couldn't tell her what was going on. But then Dad comes back the next morning. He's leaving early. He gets a suit that comes in the mail. And he's really excited, and she's like, what's up? Like, what's going on? Why haven't I seen you? And then she looks out the window. She's like, oh my gosh, is that a new car? Like, how'd you get a new car? How can you afford it? And then, of course, he's like, you know, I've been putting in extra hours, and that's where I've been, and I have a better job. And he's like, I have a job that pays more money, and I have a better job. And she said, no, you don't have a better job. The job that you had was the best job, and you worked for a God-fearing man. And there was something about fear in this dream, something that he did or a card that he used, because the cards were magical apparently. And she started to turn to stone when she got upset. And he kind of sort of just left her. I had to like take her upstairs and put her to bed, and then, explain to her she needed to be as relaxed as she could be, because if she got upset, then she turned to stone. And so as I'm carrying her, I'm talking to her, I'm like, calm down, don't freak out. If you slip into fear or anxiety or worry, thinking about what's actually happening, you're going to turn to stone. And she's tried to calm down. Okay. And I'm carrying her by armpits, right? And she's turning to stone. And at first she was calming down. And then she kind of freaked out and she was like turning to stone. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose my hands. I'm going to lose both my hands, because she's going to just slam them in between like her arm and her side, because I'm carrying by her armpits. And I got her to calm down. I didn't lose any hands or fingers, thankfully. And I laid her down and I'm like, okay, this is what's going on. They're playing this game right now. And they're doing whatever the cards tell them to do. I believe by this point of the dream, it was nearing like the final round. It was like this game show type thing. And Dean Cain was there, I'm pretty sure. He's the dude that hosted Ripley's Believe It or Not, right? I'm like, that's interesting. And she asked him, like, if he set an alarm to get up that early and if he got the other kids up for school. And he said, no, like they're not part of this. They're not part of this. And he said he didn't set an alarm. And I'm sitting there trying to explain to her everything that's happening with the cards. And she's like, are you sure? Are you sure you're not like sleeping or sleepwalking? But she couldn't talk, right? So because like her throat was still stone, maybe. Or maybe that was to get her, because it's like the more she talked about it, she would talk about it and then work herself up and then get turned into stone. And so she couldn't speak. And so she was like trying to sound it out. And I said, C. And then I'm like basically running through the alphabet really quick. And whenever she would say stop, I'd know that was the next letter. So then I was like, C, sleepwalking or something? And she was like, no. It basically came across like, what if it's just a dream and that's not what's really going on, right? But yeah, by the end of the dream, she was fairly calm, and then the alarm went off. And he said he didn't set an alarm. And the alarm went off, and I'm looking at it, and it says contact. I'm like, contact? What does that mean? And I was like, oh, this is a pager. He got a page. And so I don't know if she started freaking out, like, who's paging my mind at 5 something in the morning? Like, what's going on? Or if she's like, so he is really going to work? Or like, what's his work about? She was just a little, because he said he didn't set an alarm, and then the alarm starts buzzing, right? But it was actually a page. Someone was trying to contact him, I guess. I don't know. But he was just like off to the races, and the whole family was playing the game, and she was just left at home wondering if there was something wrong with her, wondering what was going on, wondering why her family wasn't there. And it's like they're off playing card games. And so I don't know, I woke up feeling a little conflicted, but I'm still going to do the day 7 upload. This will be the last day. How long is this video? Ooh, it's so long. I did not think this would be this long. I'm so sorry. But if you're going to watch it, you're going to watch it. If you're not going to watch it, you're not going to watch it. So am I really? Not really. But yeah, and I've talked like this the whole video. So I know my accent's probably been all over the place. I'm from all over the UK and Australia sometimes. I was going to try to do a bit of an Aussie, but I feel like I just butcher it. And so I'm not going to do that because I don't want to upset anyone. But yeah, the dream was really interesting, and I've been meaning to kind of like switch up how I do my channel anyway, because I was pulling cards last night in a private live. I made it private because at first I accidentally made it public, and then if I would have unlisted it, people could have still clicked the notifications if you get notifications, and got into it. And I was trying not to talk to anyone because, I was running through Gemini through Virgo. No, Cancer through Virgo. I was running through Cancer through Virgo. And the video was already 3 hours with no interaction. And I got stuck on a specific sign for what felt like almost like half an hour to an hour. And that was not my intention. And I'm kind of hesitant to upload it because I feel like if you're new to my channel, when I pull energy, sometimes it's for Sometimes it's for like near future or now or past, like recent past. Or it might pull from like the deep past to illuminate something in the present, or something that you need to go, somewhere that you need to go, something that you need to do to get where you're trying to go. Sorry. But sometimes it's far out in the future, like 3 to 5 months. And so with some of them, it's like, I don't know. And then when I went really, really, really deep into one sign on accident, I promise it was not intentional. And I even apologized like 5 times in the video. I was like, I did not, this is not intentional, I promise. It just happened like this. And sometimes it just happens that way. But I was really contemplating uploading it. And I don't know if I'm going to finish. So it might be just like the Jupiter videos. I do 6 signs and then I quit. So that's kind of a thing though. Maybe I need to break that. I need to start finishing things. If I had more room, if I had more space, I'd do the Jupiter videos, but I don't. And so I can't get all the cards laid out like I'd like them to. And so that's why I haven't done it. But yeah, I think I'm going to unprivate that video, make it public. I did want to timestamp it first because it's really long. So maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that after I film day 7. But yeah, I'm outside waiting for my mom. She's going to be out in a minute so we can go to the store. I hope all of you are doing well, and I will catch you all later. Thank you for watching this far. If you don't mind, reach out to someone you care about today, because they may be wondering how you're doing. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now, and one of the things, I don't buy into anything going on. I don't necessarily fear anything. But I just wish that, some folks were a little closer. Because it's like, I know that I'm going to be fine. And I know that a lot of the folks that I care about are going to be fine as well. But I also know that some people are having a bit of a time adjusting or getting used to it, or they may be more at risk, or they may think that they're more at risk. Like, I heard my mom last night, and she said that 3 dozen people in my county have been tested, and 2 dozen of the tests have all come back negative, and the other dozen is going to come back negative. So, but I know that that's not the case everywhere, right? And so I guess I'm just worried about the folks who it is a little closer to. Even though just like half an hour away, there's a large university, and they have confirmed cases. But I don't know. I just kind of wish I could talk to some folks right now. And part of me is like, I should reach out to folks, but another part of me is like, how much can I give right now? I don't know. But everyone in my home is handling it really well, so I guess I'm kind of not surprised. I don't know. I guess my experience would be a lot different if people in the home were like freaking out and stuff like that, but they're not. Because it's just not the type of people we are. And so, yeah. But I will catch y'all later. I'm sorry I keep rambling. Is this like 20 minutes? Not yet. Okay. So yeah, I tried to be a little bit more distant this time instead of all up in your face. I hope you appreciated that, because I definitely appreciate it when I watch.